This is wild. Ronda Rousey at 38, she's still in her 30s, which is crazy, right? She's been out of the UFC for a while, but she started training again, and people are saying that she is going to return. Now, she has said specifically, apparently, she does not want to fight at the UFC White House card. Justin, let me turn it over to you first. I know you're friends with one of Ronda Rousey's previous opponents. Maybe you're friends with actually a couple of her opponents. What does this mean to you in terms of Ronda Rousey's return?
I hope she doesn't, man. Stay retired. Ronda Rousey sucks. I never thought she was good. I thought she was fighting weak competition. I think the women's division, when she came up, she was the greatest women's, fighter of all time. But it's just because she was so far ahead of her competition. Everybody has caught her. She sucks. Her boxing is beyond terrible. I've been seeing her, and not to mention she's a head case. I know people that know her personally, and again, she's a super, super head case. She doesn't deal with pressure very well. She's very, I mean, this is a girl that cries after training. This is, again, I'm not a Ronda Rousey hater by any means, but her time has passed. I don't think there's anybody. I think everyone has caught her and passed her. I mean, look what Amanda Nunes did to her. Look at how silly she looked. Like she looked like an amateur fighter. Her time has passed. She's been off to the sport has moved on. The sport has evolved. She's not going to come in with a judo background and hit these big tosses like she used to. She's not going to come in and armbar everybody in the first round anymore. That's elementary. The evolution of the sport has moved on. Ronda Rousey, please, I beg you. I think you've done incredible things in the UFC. You did incredible things for the women's division, but your time has passed. Please stay retired because you are going to get fucked up.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. That's interesting. Because I was actually looking back at her record earlier today. I was like, 6 title defenses. Like people forget how many title defenses she had, but that's very interesting. Now, Justin, what if because this is what they were talking about on the Weighing In podcast. What if they put her against an OG, one of her OG opponents? Like I think Gina is one of the opponents that they were discussing.
Gina Carano?
Yeah, Gina Carano, which I think Gina Carano, right?
We've trained together. She trains at Couture. She's really good friends with the Couture family. So yeah, we've been around the gym. But here's the thing. Gina and Ronda haven't been training for years. The sport has left them behind. It's going to be watched. It's going to look like 2 amateurs fighting. And I'm going to be honest, and it sounds like I'm being a Ronda hater, but I'm not. I want her to stay retired because I don't want people to come out and have her exposed to how far she is behind in the sport now. And same thing with Gina Carano. These girls haven't competed in any form of combat. It's not like they're out doing high-level grappling matches. It's not like they're out doing high-level wrestling or judo matches. They have been on the couch for years. The sport has left them behind. Me, I train every day, and I even feel the sport has left me behind. And this girl hasn't trained in years, and I never really thought she was that good to begin with. I just think the women's division was so weak when she was coming along. You look at Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate's a teammate, and I really don't give a shit if she gets upset for me saying this because we've had our differences in the past. Miesha Tate sucks. Like, she spars with amateur fighters to get ready for fights, and she loses. I remember her going with Dominic Thiem. I remember coach telling her, hey, man, go easy on her. Go easy on her. This is an amateur guy that has a losing record, and he has to go easy on the world champion. Unfortunately, the women's division has gone past her. I see girls coming into the gym now, and I'm not saying they're beating guys, but they're hanging with them. There's girls in here banging now. Ronda Rousey, I never thought from a skill point was that good. When I went with Chris Cyborg, it felt like I was going with an amateur fighter, and she was very strong and very explosive. But again, I'm a man, and I just think that the women's division has left her behind. Can you imagine Ronda Rousey? And look what Holly Holm knocked Ronda Rousey out in the second round. Look at how Holly Holm's careers went. She hasn't won a fight in a long time either, and she knocked her out. Amanda Nunes has lost. And 2 girls that have clowned Ronda Rousey while she was in her prime have lost in recent years because the sport has evolved. The sport has moved on. Ronda, please, I love everything you did for the women's division and the UFC. Stay retired because you're going to get embarrassed.
So this is why Justin is so good on the show, right? Because those are the things that I didn't know or we wouldn't know, those technical pieces of information. He's trained with these other folks. He gives those insights. So that's really interesting. But I want to go back to one thing, okay? And you've really convinced me. I mean, a lot of the things you said, I mean, I think that's great. And maybe I wasn't fully aware of exactly how much the sport has progressed, but from the technical side. But the last thing I want to ask is this. You mentioned Holly Holm. That's another opponent that was thrown out. What about a rematch? Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm, or you think Holly Holm would just steamroll Ronda Rousey?
Steamroll.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Again, man, here's the thing. I feel like when I, after my neck injury and so on and so forth, I don't spar hardly. I'm even getting ready for a fight right now, and I reluctantly spar maybe once a week. I just don't. And when I was getting ready for my bare knuckle fight, I went and sparred with the amateur team, and there's this 18-year-old amateur that were just boxing, and he fucked me up. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? The evolution of this sport leaves you behind. I mean, I'm sparring this 18, 19-year-old kid. He's switching his stance. His hands are low. He's hitting me with a switch cross, switching his stance, pivoting out. I'm just like, what the hell happened? And it's not that I've gotten any worse, or maybe I have gotten a little worse with age and the damage I've taken, but these guys everyone is a different animal now. You have these phenoms coming up. I have this 14-year-old kid that I'm training in wrestling right now. His name's Cash Moore. He is going to be a 4-time undefeated state champ. It's insane. The technique he does, if he's about 120 pounds, if he was as big as me, he'd fuck me up, and he's 14 years old. Like it's just a new breed of athlete. And again, I know it sounds like I'm a Ronda hater, and I always talk shit on women MMA, and people think, oh, you're such a, it's not that I'm a hater. It's just when you have these long layoffs, years layoff, the sport's evolving. All sports evolve, whether it's basketball, football, baseball. Techniques change, defenses change, and you have to evolve with the sport or you're going to get left behind. And Ronda Rousey was left behind back when she got knocked out by Holly Holm. Look at her against Amanda Nunes. Look how, I hate to say stupid, but look how stupid she looked. She looked terrible. She didn't even land a punch. Amanda was smiling the whole fight. And then Amanda's lost recently. So you're going to tell me that this girl that just steamrolled Ronda Rousey in her prime, who has lost recently, Ronda Rousey is going to have this resurgence? Absolutely not. I don't want her legacy tarnished. Again, she was an innovator for the women's division. The things she did were incredible, but that was her time, and her time's way past.
All right, we're going to go through some comments real quick. And by the way, Amanda Nunes, just saying, she does smile in a lot of her fights, or almost all of her fights. That's just a thing that she does. I'm just saying. But anyways, your point is well taken. I'm not going to say the name, but it's a funny name. What's up? Barat laughs, I think, at what you're saying. He goes, hey, yeah, in agreement. Amanda and Holly exposed the skill of Rousey. I agree with Justin. Teron says Rousey should just stay retired. Wasn't her last fight it was a long time. I can't remember her last fight, but it was a long time ago. All right, I guess you guys are all in agreement. I was kind of excited, but you make very good points, and I'm hard pressed to disagree. Just watched Rousey versus Holly and Amanda not too long ago, and not to be disrespectful, but she looks bad. And Thomas agrees as well. No one wants to watch Chandler. All right, what were you gonna say, Justin?
I was just going to say, I watched Ronda Rousey, and she's practicing all these judo throws and these big throws. And people are like, oh my God, she's bad. Listen, judo sucks. Let me tell you this. Judo sucks. Judo does not win in MMA. That's how bad the women's division was. All right. I don't even teach headlocks for high school wrestling, because these moves don't work anymore. They worked back in the day. They don't work anymore. And again, she fought back in 2016. Listen, Ronda Rousey, from my understanding, and this is not hearsay. This is, I know people that are personal friends with her. Brian Caraway knows her really, really well. All right, obviously with the Misha Tate. I'm not going to mention some other girls. There's girls that I'm very close with that know her personally and say she is a head case. She cries after training. Like her coach, the reason Edmund was such a good coach for her, because Edmund was a hype man. Edmund's, oh, you're so great, and she would feed off that. But now if she comes back and she starts losing rounds to girls that aren't very good, she's gonna implode here, and who knows, she might not even show up.
Okay. Wow. Well, there it is. I guess that's our take, guys. Let's not have a return of Ronda Rousey. I literally thought I didn't even know that they were going to say all this, but hey, that's why we want to hear from the experts and the real fighters and the people at Extreme Couture like Justin. So very, very, very interesting. And that's great food for thought.